Hello and welcome back to Totally Awesome Barbecue. Now we've talked about the ins and outs of the barbecue, the airflow and all the things you need to do for indirect and doing low and slow. Now we're going to talk about the different ways you can do your charcoal. We're going to talk about charcoal and the differences in charcoal and that. And yeah, I'll talk to you about how to use a chimney as well. So when it comes to the different types of charcoal, you can use briquettes or you can use lump wood. If you've got a massive offset, you can start it off with charcoal and then you can just put lumps of wood in as well. It doesn't have to be fully charcoal. With lump wood, I tend to find that it is it gives off an intense heat, but it doesn't last for very long. It wouldn't last as long as what briquettes would. So in the low and slow side of it, you'd have to use a very little amount in there, like unlike what you need to use for a offset. When it comes to briquettes, I tend to just use any brand I can get my hands on. It's cheap, really. You can go for Weber's own, but it may last that little bit longer. But you're not if you're doing a snake. I'd rather not pay that much money and just get a cheap one that's going to do the full snake anyway through the whole cook, or the minion method. You don't have to spend loads and loads of money on barbecue. It's just that, you don't want to get posh and poncy about it. It's just charcoal in the day. You just like, get whatever you can get hold of. And yeah, Big K is a good one, I find. It's a cheap one I can get on Amazon. I can buy it in bulk and it doesn't break the bank, and it lasts me a while actually. So don't believe all the other people that say, oh yeah, you gotta get Weber charcoal, it burns the best and it lasts longer. It's for what you need it in the back garden. You don't really need like top notch charcoal. It's just this, I can make a snake out of it, it'd do the job. You just don't need to get poncy about these sort of things. For the American side of it, poncy means posh. Like, oh, look at me sort of thing, I'm using expensive stuff. But yeah, hope you're liking the new shack or barbecue area. Just had it recently built, so I can actually hang things up and everything, and it'd be to arm's length. And yeah, so when it comes to lighting your barbecue, getting one of these is probably the best thing you'll buy in your arsenal, because unlike laying the charcoal on the bottom and then lighting it up with lighting fluid and all that sort of thing, it takes ages. Even with the lighting fluid, I spent years and years before I even knew what I was doing that sort of thing, or buying the bags that you light the bag and you got the lump wood in it. It just seemed to take ages and ages. But once I watched a few YouTube videos years ago, I got myself one of these. This is a newer one I've got. My other one is starting to rust. So, but I bought the other ones because I've now got two Webers. I can have both lit at the same time, basically. And the whole idea behind these are, you put your charcoal inside, and then whatever you're going to use to ignite it goes in the bottom. Burn it first, put on top. 20 minutes, you got grey charcoal. And what I've found with lighting these is you can use crunched up paper. Another good one I found with paper is if you get 2 pages of a newspaper and then just roll the whole 2 pages together, but you want 2 layers of the 2 pages. Roll it up until it gets a long stem, and then sort of turn it round into a donut shape, and then you want it so it's going round the sides of the inside, and you'll probably get 2 of those in there. And then whatever you're going to ignite at the bottom, you do that, put it on top, and it takes that paper longer to light up, basically. Well, when I say it takes longer to light up, it will light up, but it will take longer to totally dissipate, go away. And there are many things you can use. You can use another bit of paper if you wanted to crumble it up and that, or if you've got a dryer and you get all that lint inside of it, you can use the lint as well. This stuff doesn't really take a lot to light up, so if you wanted to, you can put wax over it if you've got anything at your disposal like that sort of thing. But generally, if you're doing a lot of washing anyway, and you've got kids and you've got loads of washing to do, you're going to have loads of this, and instead of just throw it in the bin, you can use it to light your chimney. The other ones that you can use are the tumbleweeds, and you can get these in bulk on Amazon or local supermarket, something like that. These are pretty good. I generally tend to use 2 of these. These have got a wax around it which makes it burn for longer. But this may disintegrate in seconds, but it won't disintegrate that fast that it won't burn the paper. So both of them are good ways of doing it, really. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different ways of using the charcoal into a snake method, minion method, and whether you just want to do indirect. I'll show you the positions of how you can use the charcoal. So yeah, what you want to do is we'll start with the snake first, and what you want to get enough in there so you don't have to keep putting your hand in the bag. And what I'll do is I'll show you at first a little bit of it, and then I'll speed it up until we're finished, and I'll show you what the snake looks like. So basically, I'm going to get this over here. The other thing you do find in cheap ones, you might get the odd one like that. That's not a full bit of charcoal, but that's just through distribution from the people who make it to the shops, basically. So yeah, you want to start doing like a domino shape. So yeah, there is the snake, and it didn't take me too long to do that really, but it took me about 2-3 minutes. But that is like a standard one. You can, if you want, double it like that sort of thing if you wanted to. It can be a bit fiddly, but I tend to just do, if I'm doing this sort of thing, I will just do 2 layers and then put 1 layer on the top, so I know once I've lit it, it will catch every one of those things, and because it's in a domino fashion, it will carry on through to the next. And then you probably want about that much to put in your chimney, and then yeah, once you've done that, you put all the hot coals on one end, sort of covering up like that sort of thing. Not using your hands, obviously. Use your tongs for that. But there is another way of doing it, which I will show you. So the other thing in your arsenal that you can use is one of these, which is called a vortex, and this is basically a cone You can use a bowl if you wanted to. If you've got an angle grinder, you can use a bowl that's like quite thick. Chop the bottom off, and then there you go, you got your vortex. And you can have it up this way, fill lit charcoal on the top, and it gives an intense heat like a volcano basically. And you can do things like chicken wings and chicken legs all around the sides, because that will go right in the middle. Or you can have it this way, and you can do a beer can chicken in the middle and have your charcoal on the outside, and it will this will protect it, be like a shield, and it won't burn, and it'll be just fine. But what we're going to use it for is around that sort of way, and we're going to put the charcoal around the sides. So if you want to do a snake and you're in a hurry and you haven't got time to do all that, you can just put this there and then stick it around the sides. And obviously even it out a little bit so it looks like it's actually going to catch when you light it. But yeah, I've not had to speed that up or anything, and you've got yourself a snake. And the only thing with this way, because it's so thick, you'll have to adjust your vents at the bottom just to keep those temps down, because you've got a lot more charcoal here that's burning, and you don't want too much airflow, because otherwise that snake's going to go it's going to go through that in no time. That's the whole idea of having your technique in airflow and moving your propellers, so you've got less airflow coming through, so it means that's not going to burn as much. So yeah, that's basically low and slow on a Weber Kettle. You can use the minion method, but that's more for your Smoky Joes, which are quite high. So you got your meat quite high, and you got it's basically a long tube like a rocket, and you got the charcoal on the bottom. You can afford to have all the charcoal in the middle, and you put the unlit charcoal down first and put lit charcoal down in the middle, and it just sort of, like the snake, it works its way out instead of going round like that. So the other way of doing indirect is using these things. You may have seen them before. Mine are a bit rusted because I haven't really used them for a while, because I have the Slow N Sear that I use, or I use my my drip pan. It's got like a wall on it, so I don't need to use these much anymore. But these you can buy on Amazon. Some of them, they come with these, or they come with the baskets like this. They come with these, and I'm going to show you how to use those. So this is how you use one of these. What you do is you want to get your these bits here in the groove like that, and then these will just slide in like that, so they stay out like there. Bring that back a little bit, and that would be how I would use one of these. You've got a fair bit of space there for charcoal, and I would, like the minion method, fill this up with charcoal, and then I would put charcoal on top that's lit, exactly like the minion method. And because heat rises, the bottom ones that are not lit take longer to light up, which means you can grill for longer or do indirect longer. So basically you got your charcoal on one side and you got your meat on the other side, and you've got all this space to have a drip tray or something, which I tend to use these. It's a bit dirty from my last cook. Put that in there. That's what I mean about these. Again, There's another one you can buy on Instagram, and yeah, it's already got a wall, so I don't need one of these per se anymore. So that's why it's all rusted and I don't really use it a lot. So the other one is the charcoal grates, which you can use there if you wanted. You can't get a hell of a lot of charcoal in them, that's why you end up having two. But what you can do is you can put two together on this side like that if you wanted to, or if you haven't got a vortex and you've got these, you can put these in the middle and be like a vortex, and you can have your charcoal going around the side like we did with the vortex. When you're using a rotisserie, you would tend to have them side by side, so your rotisserie goes along this way and you've got your charcoal on either side. Again, indirect, you can then put a tray down there for drippings and stuff. I've even seen some people, they'll have a tray in there and they'll have their roast potatoes cooking in there right next to the coals. So yeah, you can use up this space for loads of different things. And then that then brings us to the Slow N Sear, which I will say are not cheap, and that just goes under like that. It also gives you, not only does it give you a bigger space for charcoal, and you can do the minion method, or you can do like a snake of its own. You can fill up all this side here, put a few burnt coals on this side, and it'll just work its way along. Again, because it's so big, the amount of charcoal you're going to have in there, you'd need to adjust your vents so there's not too much airflow. And whilst you're using that for low and slow, you can put water in here for a bit of humidity, which helps with the bark and helps to keep your meat nice and moist. But yeah, that's those different ways of using these types of tools in your kit eventually that you will want to use in the future when you want to get a bit more shall we say sophisticated in what you're cooking. So yeah, we've now covered most of what you need in just 3 videos of what you need to do to light a fire, how to use vents, different ways in which you can use charcoal, different charcoals you can use, and different tools that you can use between the grates. I've lost it now. The grates that you can buy, and also how to use the baskets and how to use the Slow N Sear if you decide to buy one. So yes, if you thought this was helpful, please leave a message in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you guys if you're brand new. These videos are not for people that have been doing this sort of thing for years. This is mainly for the novices who've never done it before. We've always covered the whole charcoal, whole thing in charcoal, and tend to have black on the outside sausages and pink on the inside, and showing you how to actually use a barbecue properly. Because in the UK, there's not like in America where you got lots of people that barbecue and know what they're doing, and there's only like a small percentage of people in the UK that actually know what they're doing. I've seen it many times when I've gone to other people's barbecues, and there's no safe zone, there's no like indirect way of doing it, so it's like they're smoking it as well as treating it like an outdoor oven basically. And yeah, not had very good food. So yeah, let us know what you've taken from this and if it's helped you a lot. I know there's loads and loads of videos out there on how to use barbecues and that, but I'm basically showing you the things that I still had questions about when I was watching them, because I ended up watching other channels from America and that they all had a Weber barbecue, and I desperately wanted a barbecue from Weber. And yeah, it's just all the barbecues that I bought from local garden centre, or my places like Argos, none of them seem to cut the mustard or do the things that a Weber kettle would. So yeah, I'm just trying to help the UK public and the rest, the whole of the UK, including suppliers of charcoal and that you can barbecue all year round. There's no barbecue season. Literally, it's 365 days of the year. It's just basically how you see it. Like, if you think, oh no, I don't want to stay out in the cold and do a barbecue, don't need to. You don't have to stay out in the cold. You can set your barbecue up, put the lid on, go back indoors. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm not standing out here for hours. I'm literally setting it up, lighting it, waiting for it to warm up for a while, clean it, put the food on, go back indoors. And then I set a timer for how long I need to do burgers and stuff. Or I've got a temperature probe if I'm doing big thick cut meat. Yeah, you don't need to stay outside. I mean, you can have a fire. I mean, I've got a fire that you've seen in one of my other videos. That keeps me warm if I decide I want to stay out here. But yeah, you don't have to stay outside. It's just literally another way of cooking your food, basically. You don't need to always do it in the oven. If you've got charcoal kicking about and you want to save a few quid on, or pounds for the Americans, like quid at a pound, you want to save a few pounds on the gas, get your barbecue out. It's like, if you've got charcoal kicking around already from the summer, use it. Don't let it go all mouldy in your shed. Get it on the barbecue and use it. So yes, if you like this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing, because I will be making more videos like this and doing cooks and stuff. And hit that notification bell and it'll let you know when I upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.